We have seen. Let's see, what are they gonna go? They're gonna.
Keeper of the
Ooh,
light.
okay. I don't mind this at all. I mean, the Keeper of the Light, when we were talking before about how Boom were really able to take advantage of how Neon's map movement was a little slow, peak Neon was where they would just be playing like Keeper of the Light or Nature's Prophet, in my mind. Just moving around the map, doing things faster than everyone else. Now, Keeper of the Light is nowhere near as strong as it used to be. You actually need the... Is it the shard that you need to be able to recall people now?
Yeah, it's a shard.
Yeah, so... I mean, it's a bit of like a... The strength of Keeper of the Light was to be able to do all of that movement from like the 10 to 20 minute mark. You know, right when you get your ultimate, just pop that spirit form straight away, start using the recall to move around the map, take a lot more objectives faster than the rest of the team. They're not going to have Boots of Travel, or if they do, it's only on like on the mid laner, for example, so they can't match your level of movement. But now that it's kind of been delayed to that 20-minute mark, you're feeling a little bit less certain about it. Bristleback's also still in the pool as well, so we could potentially see that pairing come together with the Keeper of the Light Bristle.
Team pick.
Bristleback.
Why not?
Why not?
You know? So you would think that it's going to be like a Bristle Pos 1 then. Unless they... Occasionally they've played Zhao on the Mirana, but I feel like it feels much more like a play hard hero now, and then just stick Zhao on the Keeper of the Light, pair that together with Natsumi. I think that's totally cool.
Yeah, I feel like you want the Mirana Sand King lane and the Cuddle Bristle back lane. So if you if you put the Mirana as a 5, then you won't be laning with that Sand King. So you get these, their side lane combos are really, really strong for Neon. And then you take a look as well, they have this 24th pick for Yopaj. I mean, they already see the Puck matchup. So he's going to guarantee himself a really, really good time. And this could be a bit scary, honestly, looking at the lanes. I mean, South built their lanes are pretty solid as well. You go for a Grimstroke Juggernaut combo. It's an opener that we see teams like Galaxy Racer previously have showed a lot of emphasis on. It's a lot of physical damage, a lot of split damage overall from South build, I should say.
Yeah, and I mean, they're going to either look to make something happen immediately at level 1, force the Mirana go into the leap level 1 to be able to avoid that, but once it hits level 2, Mirana's not going to be too phased at all. It's just about picking, you know, what position 3 are you going to be able to pair together with that. I mean, you could say the Sand King's going to be a 3, but time and time again, Neon have gone this mid Sand King on the other side. So we'll see if that's still how they opt to go, or if they're going to go for something a little bit different here. It feels to me like South Build are thinking that's the way that it is. Like, Yopaj is going to be mid. They're getting rid of a lot of these, you know, potential for high speed, a bit beefier cores that might be able to withstand that that Inkswell Blade Fury combo. We shall see, though. It's going to come down to the last pick.
Remaining.
I mean, what even offlaners are available? I guess the Mars is available, but that's not going to be too effective at spearing away a Juggernaut.
Dire team pick.
Could you see Techies getting picked up here?
No, I think that's just like me. You know, I use Overwolf when I'm playing my pubs just to see if there's you know, any massive hero spammers like a Huskar spammer or a Brood spammer or whatever, just so I can ban it out. But if there's nothing that's like cheesy that changes the way the game is played, Techies is just my number one every time, because that ain't Dota. That is not Dota. That is just, you know, if I'm queuing at midnight, I do not want to be up at 1:30 still playing the same game. So,
yeah, and it doesn't give you much satisfaction as well when you're up at, you know, an hour and a half game with the Techies. Even if you win, it's like, why did I queue? Like, actually, why did I queue?
Don't mind the Necro. It's a good little thing against the Bristleback, provided you are able to turn into face shoot. But right now, they have no tools to be able to do that. So they're going to rely on, well, not really any Silver Edge builders here either to provide the break.
Pugna looks pretty good. You got Coddle for the double blast, the Necro.
Templar
That's not what I was going to think. Okay.
Works as well, though.
Very good versus the Park. Like, really, really good lane versus the Park. A lot of times, you want to ban that hero out. I mean, you've got as the game goes to the late stage, you have control that is able to deal with the puck, the meld hit bash. You also don't really mind about building into lockdown, whether it's the hex, whether it's the bloodthorn. But the big factor is the lane. Like puck has got really, really low armor, and TA is just able to rip apart the puck.
Yeah, for sure. And it's you're able to rip apart the puck. I mean, now as well that meld has become much more of a value point ability. You know, you still get a lot of the bonuses just from the one skill level into it. So that's going to be a bit tough for Bob to deal with. He's going to make sure he needs to hold his phase shift to be able to dodge that out. But you know, that's going to mean he's going to be able to make a lot less aggressive plays in the lane. So what's already going to become a hard lane for you has just become harder with the more recent changes to the TA. But yeah, as it gets to later on, it's going to be harder for them to deal with it. But then again, pre-BKB, you've got a lot of stuff that can quickly burn through those refraction charges once these team fights actually do happen. You know, the Inkswell, lots of small instances of damage. Same sort of thing with the Juggernaut. So we'll see how they're able to itemize in particular for it to be able to counter that out. Hell, we may even see like an early Ags build coming through from Yopaj, which I think is really good, right? I already emphasized the importance of being able to move around the map so quickly. TA is one of those heroes that does give you a lot of that benefit. You know, quickly push out a lane, coddle from the level 20 mark, gets the Ag shard, and then just brings you straight back to the team fight.
Oh boy.
He loves to see that. Go into the game, insta pause. Hopefully it's not too long, but
Oh boy.
I
We're
guess it
watching
gives-
Oz doing it.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, the
with all
classic.
these pauses always like
the Calvin pause.
I hate it so much. The Calvin pause, the quick smoko, but I don't know. Like it's something that plagues C pubs as well. Like, do you play C or do you play Oz?
Oz.
See, whenever I play C, it always seems to be like the game starts and then people go AFK saying, "I need to go to the toilet," and I'm like, you had time before you pressed the play game button to be able to do that. Do you honestly feel like your time is more important than the 9 other players that are in the game? I don't know, it just feels a little inconsiderate to me. You could at least like early pick your hero in the draft phase and then go, you know? You're not going to waste anyone's time from doing that. But you know, oftentimes when that happens, I'm like, great, I'm in for another game with a selfish teammate coming through. I'm not going to get too much help. But Neon, they're making an aggressive move here. They might be able to catch out Samael, but just level 1 Burrow Strike probably isn't going to be enough to catch him, although that arrow will.
They'll use that ability instead. Why not? You know, you can't catch up with the burrow. You got a long range stun, and
First thing in the morning.
there wasn't really.
They were kind
any
of
other-
doing a bit of a conga line to be able to hide the arrow. You know? As
Yeah.
long as it's inside them, they it's not quite so easy to dodge. Maybe there was a lot of comms going on and he didn't actually hear the arrow being used at the time. It was probably actually in the fog, so wouldn't have even seen it.
Maybe this will give Mr. Marb an opportunity to snag away the bounty. It's like CTM. Yeah, he should get it. Bob as
The battle
well.
begins.
Been scared off a little bit here.
They ping it. Ooh,
2 for 2 though.
Courier? What?
Radiant's
What's
courier
going
has
on?
been killed.
I don't know what Natsumi's courier is doing on the top side,
He wants Ring of Hell first item. What?
but do you want to have a walking courier move
Yeah.
across the entire map? No.
I think the line drawn as well is just being like, what, were you thinking about walking that courier all the way there? Did you see Playhard's line on the map? It's like,
Yeah.
very interesting. But, okay, so we get this last pick, Necrophos. This is a hero that was getting played a little bit in CIS after the patch that we saw come out. Jean Newell just gets ripped apart. That is
A lot of damage put into Enryu though. They've only got the nasal goose, so really nice body blocks coming through from Zenki to make sure that they don't have that follow-up damage. At least until he's level 2, you're not going to get those stacks of the quill spray that are able to deal with them from through the fog. So nicely done by the Tusk there.
Let us fight.
How do you feel? What's your opinion on the Necrophos right now as a hero? Because Bob, hey, they've got the ward on the high ground. One more right click.
Summer night.
Oh, that's not good. I mean, this matchup is already Templar Assassin favored, and you're already getting solo killed from Yopaj.
I mean, the bonus is that you now should know that they had that warded. He could buy a sentry ward, get some solo experience and gold for himself. Not going to be the case, though. Yopaj very happy, already hitting up onto that level 3. I mean, look at that. Look at the meld level 1 value. 5 armor reduction, 80 bonus damage, all for 35 mana.
Yeah, it is a lot at that early stages. We've been seeing the like value blightstones, the little shredder, of course, on the stat fire, just all these early minus armor that you were able to pick up on some heroes has been causing chaos in a lot of the lanes that we see previously. Is Enryu. That's a big blast, Natsumi. Refreshing the abilities, but we'll still lose his life here. So that is a good start to pick up, because the Bristleback is definitely a hero that can snowball out of control, but if you can kind of limit that laning stage prowess as Marv up top, he's also going to get hit with the combo. Looks like that was the Burrow Strike into Arrow setup. Such a formidable threat here from those two.
Especially with a Coddle, right? Like, you need to basically guarantee that you've snowballed, and, well, the plus side is that the courier couldn't do it. Natsumi himself eventually could, but it cost him his life. He's got the Ring of Health, so he's going to be able to stay in his lane a little bit longer. Always a worry against the Tusk, and speaking of, he's kind of scouting out that a bit of these stacks were going on. It's always the worry with a Bristleback that you're going to allow him to flash farm somewhat once he gets that, at least the 1 point into the Bristleback itself. And get a small stack off.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Mid?
Going for the pull here. Oh, this is a super deep dive, Bob. You're going to go down. He's got the phase shift.
Oh my. Oh, the taunt as well is so annoying.
Oh, and nice movement by Yopaj as well, realizing that, well, I've got a bottle, so this is going to be advantageous for me, but it's more even more important to just deny it away from Bob. It might even be worth it for, like... It's hard to say, right? Because it's going to be a long time until something's able to happen. But do you go ahead and feed your life away on one of these Southfield people just so that you can refill his bottle? Or at least move someone towards the water runes so that he can guarantee one of the runes goes to him?
Yeah, that's... I think
Bob?
we are... Oh,
Bob?
just moved away, Yopaj. It's a big solo
That's
kill.
all it takes.
Oh, and Genuel also gets the
Dire's
water
middle
rune.
tower is under attack.
Yopaj is going to get the other one. It's...
Level 6, by the way.
This is not good. This is really not a good start at all. I mean, you directly counter the puck. And this is what I was saying with the draw from Radiant, at least. You got a Sand King Mirana, really strong off-lane combo. Then you got a Bristleback Coddle, really strong safe lane combo. And then you have this ultra last pick for Yopaj, who is, I think, the star that we see through, I think, the upper division. Like a lot of people recognizing his prowess in the mid lane. And the fact that you give him this 24th pick to really just shine is devastating at the moment. And he's just... He could very easily take over this game.
And look at poor Bob's net worth as well. Like, he is down in the dumps. He is right above the Mirana, barely, on the net worth charts. Barely able to get any sort of CS. And Yopaj, I don't think they've been able to stack up anything for themselves yet. Whereas, you've at least got the hard camp stacked that Tusk was able to do. Going in for another kill onto Natsumi. This could be a big kill.
They do get it. Very nicely done there. I mean, the Quills were starting to stack up, but
Is under attack.
Natsumi with that early hood is not going to protect him versus the tag team that has 2 points in it. So he's anticipating a lot more magical damage in this lane. Instead, you see that little health decay with the Heartstopper aura. It's definitely coming into effect.
And really key that
Bob
Enryu
actually
was
might
the
be
one
dead
to get the
again.
last hit as well. Oh, not again.
He should be able to sideblade off the creep, and he does. This is...
Level 7. Not even 6 minutes in.
Oh, CTM's tipping him too. So now do you put the Necro... Well, speak about the Necro. Necro's just going down bot. Do you put the Necro mid and then have Bob go in the off lane? Like, I don't know what you can do, but Yopaj is actually just running amok.
I don't think you can put the Necro mid, at least until you got the 1 point in the Ghost Shroud, right? Like, Ghost, they're going to try and catch him out here as he's caught underneath the tower. This would be a big turnaround kill. He's got the refraction back, though.
And he looks to turn.
He's not doing this, is he?
They're about to pop
regen
the
rate's fine.
refraction. Bob's also got the orb up in a couple seconds as well. Yopaj sidesteps it, TP in from Genuel just in case they do chase him. Hey, why not solve him? He's already had a good start, top lane. The action continues as the Inkswell just gets a connection on CTM, and a Bar Strike too shy of getting back to safety.
Got it.
And a bounty rune as well. So Yopaj, he doesn't need no supports to stack for him. He's going to do it himself on that ancient camp. Just take the hard camp on his own. I wonder if these creeps will move fast enough actually to get the stack off. Yeah, Yopaj, he knows what he's doing. And with that 7-minute mark, will he even luck out with the neutral item? No, he won't. With the most useless camp of the game, the Kobolds. Even though they're many in number, they are not high in substance, that's for sure.
Natsumi's also top or second in net worth now, but even though he's died twice in lane, 2 kills, 54 last hits, he's still got to be really happy with how his game's going to look, even though he died those couple of times.
Yeah, you can just flash farm so easily, right? You don't care about the lane so much. If it goes well, you know, fantastic. Second ring of health gets delivered to him now, so he might even be able to withstand all of this pressure putting in onto him. But they've got the Reaper's Scythe. Have to be careful about when he turns around to try and hit them, though.
Scythe. Oh, look at the quills. The pulse is not enough. They do have Bob coming on over, so this is, I guess, the one way that maybe Puck can get back involved in this game. Stick's going to give him a little bit of health.
Though.
Bob's got to be careful. They got Tusk in the back line. They lose the courier, but it does still get the kill. So here we go. Bob. It's exactly what he needs to do to have a little bit of impact heading into the mid game. Just needs to make these rotations and try and get involved on the other lanes instead of mid.
Man, that was so vital that they were able to get that kill. Brings them up to level 7. At least you've got a lot more farming potential for some of these stacks that they've been able to build up for you. Go back to lane, shove this wave out, probably still collect the next one, and then at around the 9-minute mark, look to grab the bounty, grab the hard camp as well. CTM surprisingly dying on the top side though. Was that, no, not even Omni Slash used for that.
Natsumi's going to show up, so there should be a dead Grimstroke here. Well, right click, Steven do scout out Zenk here, but nowhere to close. Actually, Yopaj is already looking to get involved. Did Dire have a sentry? They don't. So Mob's going to try and TP out Arrow. They just don't get the detection fast enough.
Good use to the little nook and cranny. Bobby's like, finally, I've been left alone.
Space, let's go.
Dire's structures are fortified.
But do you feel like Necro
Parks himself there. It's under a sentry though.
He's in trouble here?
Very ambitious, just walking up into the lane. And not that he knew 3 people were there, but still.
They're still going to try and brawl around mid.
Already got the meld back up with that chakra magic.
Snowball in, just baits even further into the grasping hands of Neon. And that's another thing that the chakra magic is really good with, the Templar Assassin. You just brought it up there in that fight. But your Roche taking potential is through the roof. Like, you can do it very early. You get 3 charges in that mode. Because you charge one up, gets the cooldown back, so you hit it twice. And then you also get the cuddle to refresh it for a 3rd time. And then you also have like a quick burst, meld, you know, blink in, meld. If Genuel's in a position, you meld again. And I cannot see many heroes that are going to survive a double hit back-to-back meld when Yopaj is this far.
Yeah. Level 10 at 10 minutes is pretty crazy for a mid laner right now. And, well, Bob, he's going to farm up this stack to try and bring things back a little bit. He's going into the Witchblade, which feels like a necessity against the TA to assist with taking off some of those refraction charges, help even just to prevent the escape from some of these other units. That's me though. He's using the time created by this Keeper of the Light just to flash farm. You know, this is what Neon do when they're at their best. They just do things on the map faster than their opponent. And hell, this is before a lot of the mobility has started to happen.
How do we feel like the Necrophos is going to impact the early game here with the start that he's had?
Not too heavily, to be honest. You know, he's had a decent time in lane, being a part of 4 kills as they get a Dream Coil in onto 1. I don't know if it's going to be enough to kill Playhard, though.
Be careful how far they go, because Yopaj has a double damage rune. And we're going to see it come into full effect. Just rips apart Zenki. And now Ryu. Protected with Hood. Back up to full mana as well with the on the slash down to the southern side. We'll crit through the Mirana. But it means that the rest of South Bill are just getting rent down by the cores from a Neon here. They'll get on top of Samael underneath that tier 2 tower. Very nice use of the side blade. So I missed the kill on Bob. A little bit too late with the Burrow Strike, but nonetheless a triple for the Templar Assassin. 7, 0, and 1. And a tier 1 tower in the mid lane already killed.
And that was really good use of their timing again by Neon. You know, it was they made sure to use the glyph offensively to keep their last melee creep alive, allows the siege creep to keep hitting on the tower, and that's all at the same time that the double damage was available by Yopaj. So everyone just joins in onto the mid lane. They don't end up taking the tower immediately from the use of that siege creep, but eventually ends up going down. Natsumi's able to claim it, and yeah, they just continue to get more map control. Top's taken, mid's taken. You got a lot of minus armor already with the nasal goo. And, of course, the TA just on her own. One more one-team fight. That is an easy rush.
Natsumi really does not care. Look how far up he can be right now. Like, what are you going to do against him?
Absolutely nothing. You can see here, Zhao. He's already got that Aghanim Shard queued up. He knows what He is a Chakra Magic bot. He is there to occasionally put a Solar Bind down, and he was there on the laning stage to illuminate the range creeps. That is it. And then he's just going to be the taxi around the map. It's a good
life. It's a good life to have. Just enable your cores and then run around the map and let them win you your game. Does feel like though Radiant, if they're lacking anything, it feels like this pick-off capabilities not there until we see the blink on Sand King, and then him and Mirana can hunt Bob.
Pretty close though.
Bob should be fine here.
Defensive mode. I don't know about that. Chakra, that Solar Bind, very effective super early on, and you're not too worried about snapping the coil this early either. Only 1.8 seconds is the snap damage, and when you're something like a Bristleback has already got the Hood, you're not all that concerned. Although 4 people, can they kill a single Bristleback with 4 people?
Oh, they need to get in front of him for the scythe. They're still going to drop it, but the damage, it's not enough. They bring him down to about a third, but the Radiant with the rotation's coming through. Soulbind leashes him up, but he's still protected. He's still got 13 one charges as well, so Natsumi's able to stand his ground. He'll push back the Necrophos, who will end up falling. So 1 for 1 at the moment, but Yopaj is looking to turn this team fight back in their favor while the rest of the team are hunting in that tree line. They don't have the catch and the control for Zenki, but finally Natsumi will be able to run into the Tusk. And the tree, they get the kill actually. Very nicely done. That's great catch up for the Bristle. Sorry, I should say for the Park. Getting a little bit of influx of gold. He's got 1,000 in the bank now after that.
Omni Slash was already used, so they weren't able to turn around onto the TA. Importantly, though, CTM, he wasn't part of that fight. He had no TP. He had his Blink Dagger coming out to him on the courier with a TP scroll. So he used his time to push the lane out. It's unfortunate that Natsumi was going down there, but, you know, that's what happens when you split away from the rest of the team. The big strength of this Bristleback is that you kind of do need someone there with you. The reason he was able to survive so long was because of that blinding light in combination, of course, with the Solar Bind, with the Chakra Magic onto the Bristle himself.
CTM. We can lock him down with the arrow before the Ghost Shard. Yopaj should be able to dish out the damage, and that he does. It's a great counter with the coil, locking them all in place, but they've blown their load damage-wise to kill off the Mirana. Now she can leap away, and it means that CTM can freely jump to deal with Bob. It's just the Sand King, unfortunately, and Bolt Play Hard should drop here.
With honor.
Just give him the single punch. CTM, he's got his Blink Dagger available. Let's see if he's going to be able to use it in time. He will, before Samael and Zenki look to connect in, but again, these waves pushed in very far. Still don't think Neon are in a position just yet to be able to walk on into Roche without any cares in the world. I say that, but I'm wrong. They're just going to go ahead and do it. 1 point in the nasal goose. All they need, is that a Desolator that they've got coming out? No, it's the BKB actually for Yopaj. Prioritizing survivability for Yopaj a little bit more than the pure damage. I don't think they're lacking on that front at all, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly like you said. They're not really lacking damage, and you've got such a lead that you're kind of worried about when you're this far ahead, you want to go survivability. You've got levels. A lot of your damage is going to come through there. So you just want to try and tank up. Make sure you don't really give the enemy team much of an opportunity to get these pickoffs that can just bring you slightly back into a game. So
Natsumi just doesn't care. He literally runs underneath the tier 2 tower, grabs the creep wave. They're going to be able to pick off the Grimstroke, gets 2 hit. And, I mean, what can you do? What can you do on Southfield? The most that they're trying to do is just be able to push out this creep wave, but they use the offensive glyph. They're not wanting to use the defensive yet. I think wanting to save that for the high ground, but double damage on this TA, it's deadly.
And it seems like, I mean, Mob's going to come back. He's got Manta completed. So the Jug has been silently farming a decent amount. They're going to split away. Natsumi's actually going to TP up top. So it looks like they forced them all back. They forced the glyph. Maybe they're just going to get the side lanes shoved out. And then they'll group up with Natsumi to potentially take that tier 2 tower top.
They're very happy to just claim that glyph. I mean, Natsumi, he's 200 gold away from finishing his
kill instead.
ags.
Mid lane, Mob's going to jump straight on forward. The Burrow sets up for the arrow. They'll lose their position 1. They're also going to try and chase down and reuse Necrophos as well. Bobby might be able to drop a code, at least to hold Gopaj back. I say that. And BKB is going to get committed. They're using the Soulbind instead. That's a great way to leash them together, but the arrow just sidestepped from Zenki. How far do you want to go, though, from Neon? You don't have Natsumi, and he's still not running over as well, but it doesn't even matter. CTM, what a Burrow strike. Finds a connection onto 3. Bob's just able to get back to safety, but the majority of Southfield aren't as lucky.
This is one of those games where the kill score absolutely does not tell the story of the game. You know, there is a 10k net worth lead at the 18-minute mark. Beefy heroes like the Bristleback comboed together with a Keeper of the Light. Yopaj having an amazing game in that mid lane. And, I mean, they're going to be able to push through this backdoor protection. They just wait. Why not? It's only 5 seconds, but... Tier 3 tower, minimum, going down. You know the glyph was used previously. They didn't rotate down to that bottom side because that would have just refreshed, potentially given Southfield an out.
And Ryu.
Omni Slash.
Another power from CTM onto Multi. Snowball will delay. They might get the first life.
Omni.
Even then, it's going to take a lot of the abilities. The full load getting dropped. Natsumi's not even dead just yet. He'll turn, right-click down, forcing Ma back to safety. This is going to be a very, very early set of objectives getting claimed here from Neon. And there is just no gas left in the tank. They used Omni, coils down, Burrow once again setting up for the arrow. Just when anyone is a little bit too far pushed forward, they're going to look to punish. And even Bob now as well just blinks away.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Yeah, a bit of the bands coming through as well with the voice lines. I mean, now, yep, they're making the right choice. Top lane, no glyph. Taking a tier 2 is not going to impact that at all. Let's take away the outpost as well. Still got, what, a full minute and a half on that Aegis, so Natsumi doesn't really care that he's up here on half HP. He's even got the Arcane Ring. That's probably the most value item he could have at this point, just to be able to ensure his survival. Maybe the Essence Ring, if it was available, might have been the preferable option, but I mean, there's no need to farm neutral creeps right now when you're just able to continuously push into the enemy base and choke out any opportunity for them coming back. You see Bobby's trying to take every little second that he can to get something out of the map. Like, they're not going to be able to defend this. Maybe they could bait them into diving a little bit too deep. If they got TPs available on all of their heroes, they do. I don't think it's going to result in any new items coming through. Marb eventually TPs back along with the rest of the team, but is it enough? You got the Blink Dagger on Bob at least. Can he get onto the back lines?
CTM, Epi, already charged up the arrow connection. Necrophos is usually an incredibly tanky person, but they just get brought down with ease. The BKB is used as well. Radiant, no one's fallen just yet. With all the sustain that's able to come through, they can tank up the load and just turn to deal with all the heroes that Southfield are putting out on them. A lose 3, buybacks are available, but they might just tap out of this game 1 here, and they will.
Yeah. There's no way to come back from this. Demolition in the draft laning stage went even better than, you know, most TAs could hope for against the puck, with those early kills being able to come through. I think Bob just played in classic Bob style, where he tried to get super aggressive, go for these flashy kills, but against a TA, you cannot afford to do that. The turnaround potential is way too high. You got to save that phase shift for a little bit more defensive plays, and I think he ended up dying 3 times in the first, like, 6-7 minutes, which is not good. Not good. You cannot give a TA that kind of start that allows them to snowball into towers so easily. And again, Yopaj, this time around, it was only exactly half of the kills that he was directly involved in securing. Last game, it was more than half. And of course, he was basically getting the kill or assisting in nearly all of them this game, about 90%. So crazy game again for Yopaj. He is everyone's idol, of course, but there was very much the supporting cast coming through from Zhao in particular, I would say. It was the keeper of the light. They didn't even need to wait for the 20-minute mark with the Agshar. They eventually got it, but they didn't even need to use it at the end with the recall potential.
Yeah, overall, just you brought up that Bob and Yopaj are going to be 2 exciting mid matchups to watch in this series. And well, game 1, Yopaj is able to get out ahead in that, along with Neon in the best of 2. So taking this game 1 victory, Yopaj getting a little bit of his own victories as well. We'll see if Bob and Southbuilt are able to hit back in this second game after a short break.